Good evening, everybody. This evening we're doing something slightly different. I have the lovely Angelina Giorgio with me, who has been a contact or a friend, both, all of a work colleague for the last how many years, Angelina?
6, but I was trying to work it out because my cat Dennis died in 2015, and you definitely got him because you got him to chat to me. So it's got to be before that.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, so that's typical Lesley, Dr. Doolittle talking to the animals as well as all the humans. But as you and I know, it's either, it can be anything that's lived or breathed that can come through to us. But the reason I wanted to introduce Angelina is because Angelina, we met via, I think you came to me for a reading originally, and maybe a couple of readings. And then I kind of gave her a little bit of boot up the backside and said, Angelina, you really should be doing this work. And you can take it from there, because then I think you attended a couple of courses, but you can take that over from there, how you came back into spirit world, which is where you should have been to start with.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I'd lost my way a little bit. I'd sat in circle with a lady for years when I was in my 20s, and then I just walked away. I didn't walk away from it. I think life happened, and I'd had a lot of bereavements, and it just really knocked me, and I completely switched off, and I was very lost. I was in a job that I didn't particularly like, and I'd come to you for several readings, and we'd always got on really well. And I think Spirit were telling me off because I remember it being like, look, you need to get your act together. And I came along to one of your psychic development. I came to some psychic events, and then I came to a development class, and I just got back into myself. I found myself again, thanks to lovely Lesley. And I was like, yeah, why did I leave this? And and I haven't stopped since, really. And it was really interesting because I had this boring job that was really round peg, square hole. And the boss always said to me the day after I'd done one of your courses, she'd say, you're a completely different person, in a good way. So I thought, I think I'm back on track. So, yeah.
That's good. And that's right. When Spirit kind of call us, we both know that actually this is what we should be doing, as much as we might try not to do it. And I was in a very similar situation. I can always remember the guy that trained me, he kept saying, Lesley, you need to be doing your readings. I was like, no, not me. I'm fine. I'm good. And then eventually I ended up obviously doing them. And then the rest is history, really. But so how long you're part of my psychic team, because as Angelina said, I do events. I did the lovely Borden Theatre. I love going there on Saturday. I had a sellout, which was fabulous, but it was a beautiful evening, and some very, very powerful messages came through from Spirit. And as ever, we have laughter and tears. But because I do these other things like teach and events, I don't always have enough time to spend on one-to-ones or psychic parties or other things. So what other things do you do for me? And you've been working for me since, well, with me. I don't say for me, I never say that, but part of my team since when? Okay, about 4 or 5 years?
At least 2018. I think even maybe a bit before that. I started off doing the odd tarot party for you. And then I got onto your website, and then I used to come over to your house before COVID. And I used to do hypnotherapy there because, like you, we kind of have a bit of a parallel life, don't we? I sort of did the old hypnotherapy and past life regression stuff. And I used to use your room and then do readings there as well. And then obviously since COVID, it's just gone online. So it's just gone on from there, really.
Yeah. It's interesting you said about hypnotherapy, because yes, I am a qualified hypnotherapist and stress manager. I never really get time to practice, very occasionally. But interestingly enough, I have had a lady quite recently who just finished with me last week. And that was a referral from her son-in-law, like years ago, said, she'll only come to you. And I said, okay, because again, it's just trying to fit people in. But it is, and it's really interesting to do the two things together, because when I'm sometimes working with somebody, they'll show me something as a process or a way that I would work if I'm with a client, and I know the way that I need to deliver the message. It's really bizarre. So they'll just take me to a certain process, and I go, I know what I need to be saying with you. So it does work, absolutely. And it's never wasted skills, whatever we've got there, because I think it all just comes into one. So the other thing that Angelina does for me, she works on the telephone line, and you're working on Monday, you said? What
Monday?
you tell us when you're going to work, Angelina. I never know what I'm doing, never mind what you're doing. So
So at the moment, I'm going to just work Mondays and sort of see if I can build up, because I've got other things going on as well. So Mondays, I'm going to be Lesley's lady, and from probably 2:30 English time onwards. So I don't know what that is, American time. We did try and work it out last time.
Eastern time, it's 9:30 a.m. in the morning until probably round about sort of 2:30 Eastern time, I would say, and maybe 7:30 our time in the UK.
Yeah.
But it's up to you. You're quite a night bird, whereas I'm not. I like to get my work done earlier, but you are a different sort of bird. You like the evenings, don't you, to work late? So
yeah, I'm sure you've seen the time dates on all the emails that I send you, 3 o'clock in the morning.
I'm like, Angelina, no, I'm asleep at that time. Anyway, so it's lovely that we can talk about this. The other thing that you do for me is that, part of the team, I do have others as well, that do the email readings for me, which are really interesting. Tell me how you perceive the market of email readings and what you think we do maybe a bit differently.
Well, I know of some people who have spoken to me in the past who have just said, oh yeah, we just cut and paste, and if I get the same person, and because it's a couple and my husband does it, we kind of talk, and I just think that's really out of order. I don't work that way. I can't work that way. So I actually link in with the person. I think all your readers do. If I get the person, I sit down, I send out my ribbons, I link into their energy, I ask my spirit guides to come and help me, just like I would with anyone, whether it's an email reading or a face-to-face, you do the best job you can. And really, am I doing the job? I think it's my guides that are doing the job. It just comes through my mouth. But I just think, you have to work the same way. It's respect. It's respect for your client and respect for spirit as well.
No, I totally agree with you. And you know me, as much as I'm a lot of fun, I do have a certain standard for anybody that works for me, because it's just like, I'm not going to have, I want to say a lazy worker, but what I mean is a lazy reader, because there are ways that you can kind of skirt around dealing with the issues and maybe not linking into spirit and different things. So, but I always make sure that everybody that is on my team definitely works for you. And I've never had any issues with your work at all, Angeline. It's always been impeccable. Always have fabulous feedback as well. So it's, I trust you totally with all of that.
Thank you very much.
So I just want to go back to your PIN number as well. If anybody was looking to have a reading with you, it's 5451, you said. Did you say that? I don't know if you said it now. I can't remember. But anyway, I'm going to say it for you. So it's 5451. So if you're looking for a reading with Angelina, it's 5451, and that's on the psychic line. But also, email readings are really interesting, because there are people that don't like to come and see somebody because they just feel too shy or embarrassed or whatever. And there are also people that hate the telephone or video or any. I mean, I still have clients that go, no, Lesley, I don't mind you talking to me, but don't see me. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So there's so many different needs out there, I think, on a spirit level. And for me, it's just another way of helping people in a way that they sometimes maybe can stand back from it. But also, it's about asking specific questions. So it gives you the opportunity not to have just a general reading, which may end up being about your mother or your dad, and you actually want it to be about you. I mean, it is a way of doing that. So I there are different, and for me, it makes no difference any tool you use or any communication. The result is always the same. The messages are going to be the same for you.
It's just energy. Whatever you're doing is energy, isn't it? It doesn't matter whether you're in the same room as someone or they're across the world. You're linking in with their energy.
See, I love you, Angelina, because you're on the same page as me. Because whenever I teach, they always go, I'm going, focus on the energy, focus on the energy. They must think I'm absolutely balmy, but you get it. It's about focusing on the energy. So that's absolutely great. So what would you class yourself as from a spiritual worker? We know you're a hypnotherapist, but what would you say your main skills are?
I'm a pretty good all-rounder. I see auras. Auras. I big on auras. I always read auras. Somehow it just always comes to me. I see the colours and tarot. I've always, I picked up my first pack of tarot when I was 13. Great. My mother was shocked because she was a Catholic, but straight into the tarot. I love tarot.
Excuse me, but your mum has been through a few times, so I'll chat with you. So we've left the Catholic religion to one side anyway, so it doesn't matter. No, I'm only having a laugh with you, but go on.
I know, sorry. I still light candles in church because she came through and told you to tell me that once, and I'm so scared. Every time I pass a church, I have to light a candle.
God love her. God love her. I can't, you know me, I never remember a word I say anyway. So, but yeah, so sorry, Tara, and you're a good medium, aren't you?
Yes, I do mediumship. I don't chase spirit. So, people sometimes say, oh, I can guarantee that I'll get so and so. No. I ask. I always say it's not a telephone line. If they want to come through, it's just showing respect. So I will go up. I'll ask my guides. I'll ask if anyone's there before someone comes, for a reading when they come in. I always ask if somebody wants to step forward. But you can never, personally, I don't think you can ever really guarantee, because spirit will come through when they've got something to say. But yes, I do mediumship, and the latest thing that I've kind of opened up into, bizarrely, is animal communication, which I never thought I'd do. But my friends got horses and they suddenly started talking to me. So I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. So that's quite a fun one. So I get quite a lot of people, if their dog or their horse isn't feeling very well and they're not sure what it is, I can link in with them. So that's fun. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I've got a friend who, her two dogs is all she ever wants to hear from, her dad and her two dogs. It's so important to her. And then whilst we're laughing, some people are much more connected to animals in this world than they ever are humans. And I get that, especially if they've been hurt and that so many times. It's actually their one mainstay is the animals. The only time I really didn't like it is when I had this lady. I went, I've got a snake here. And me and snakes are like, oh, no. And there was this... No, and it was like, I've got this snake here. And she said, oh, yeah. She said, my ex-husband bought it for my daughter as a birthday just to hack me off. I had it for 10.5 years. I was like, well, it now needs to go. It now needs to go. It's just kind of go, thank you for it, but like, please go now. Anyway, so, but that was a me thing, was stuck with this snake. But anyway, it's amazing what can come through. So absolutely, nothing is out of realms. So
yeah, and living or dead. I speak to living animals as well, because they will tell you that, because people think, oh, it just has to be spirit, and it's not. Energy is energy, whether you're alive or dead. It's just, they still communicate to you. It's just linking in with their auras and their energy.
100%. And you can get messages of health or other things for animals just the same as you can for humans. I know some readers don't go near health, but actually we do it a lot, and it's just, I think, who we are. But I'm not going to shy away from it, because I really trust spirit when it comes to health messages, because it's proved time and time again so many times when it's helped people, including myself, with my own heart attack. So I'm happy with that. Not happy that I had a heart attack, but happy with the messages and happy to understand that. I think if we try to take action from whatever it is they're telling us, it means something always can be done, not something can't be done.
And I think you hit the nail on the head when you said trust spirit, because at the end of the day, it comes through us. It's not us. It's not our ego. It's spirit or something higher talking to us. And if they say something, it's not for us. It's for somebody else. So it might mean absolutely nothing to us, something totally random, but we're giving it, and we should trust that our guides are working through us. We should just give it.
I totally agree. I think it's almost disrespectful to spirit to not give the message. But of course, you and I know from experience, people take what they want from a reading, and they would, it's interesting. Like sometimes you're giving messages to people saying, like, this is all waiting for you, but you need to get rid of that man, or you need to do this first. And they go, So they'll take what they're going to get and then come back to me and say, I didn't do that, Lesley, but now I've done it. It's amazing how everything's happened, but I waited all year, but you did say I had to do that first. And it's true. Spirit will hold up sometimes the gifts for us if we're not doing our end of the bargain, really. It's like we have to be playing the game in whatever it might be, I feel. We don't always like the game. We don't always like the game that we have to do when we have to make changes in our lives, because it's challenging. But, that's what moves us on. We can't stay there forever.
Definitely.
So you still do lots of parties for me, because I don't have time to do them myself. I do more as Angelina says, you do all the big stuff, Lesley. I wouldn't want to do that, but it doesn't bother me.
I stand up in front of a bunch of people. No, thank you.
Do you know what? The weirdest thing is, I actually always get very nervous beforehand, but they're always so good to me. And I meet such lovely people. For instance, on Saturday, there was a family of 4 children and a mum, and I called him out, the boy, right out from the front of the stage, and he was right at the back of the theatre, and I just said, you've got a dad in spirit. And it was such an emotional thing, but it was a lovely way that he connected with me. And the one thing he did for me, he said, the young boy with the glasses was the message I got. And I was looking for the whole crowd for the young boy with with the glasses. And it was right. So it was just how they connected. But I love it because, you know, to be honest with you, a lady I read for that won the competition last week, Charlie, she so needed that. And I tell you something, I don't know if she'd have been able to afford a reading with anybody. So for her to win the free reading, that was spirit at its best as far as I was concerned, because she so deserved it. I'm not saying she was poor. I just don't know if she was in a position to actually be able to spend that money at the moment. But I was so blessed that she, you know, was a lovely lady and she thoroughly deserved it. So again, spirit sorts it out. So you do lots of parties, you do the telephone night, and you also do the email readings. I just want to concentrate on them at the moment because there is a special discount on the email readings for listeners to A1R Radio. And it's so on a silver, which is 3-question email, there is £5 off. Now that's £5, not $5. So I think it works out as $7 something. You'll have to work it out. But there is currency now on my website, so you'll be able to see it. And there is £10 off a gold email reading, which is 5 questions. And there's a coupon code that you'll need to put in, and it's A1R10. And if you put that in when you purchase it, it will automatically be deducted at the checkout for you. So it's a great opportunity. It's interesting. Email readings are very popular at the moment. So it's really bizarre that I'm like running a discount. But actually, again, I think it's, you know, people are going through difficult times. I don't know what it's like overseas, but here, every penny counts for a lot of people at the moment. You know, our fuel bills have gone through the roof. Well, I think you need to push your car or get an electric one because the price of petrol is just it's just horrendous at the moment, and everything else has gone up, you know, crazily. So it's nice to be able to offer a little bit back, and for people that maybe just, you know, can't afford it, or just to get a bargain is nice anyway, because they're going to know that they're going to get a good reading. So I just wanted to spend that time talking about that. Is there anything you want to ask me while we're on? Because, you know, I'm kind of doing all the talking here. Is there anything that you'd like to ask me?
I think we've known each other for so long. I've probably asked you all the questions, but I think for me, you know, people think that, I don't know about you, I get the look when I've picked something and they go, oh, like that, like it's magic. And I just think everybody's got the gift. It's just that, you know, some people have more of an aptitude for it than others. I'm rubbish at maths, but I can use the bit of my brain that talks to dead people. Hey, but, you know, and I just think, how do you perceive it when sort of people sort of look at you and go, oh my God, you're this special thing, you've come up with this magic? How do you kind of deal with that? Because I think sometimes people not put you on a pedestal, but I also get the other side of it, where the guy, you know, it's often guys, but you know, they'll go, oh no, I don't want to sit with you, I've got to cross my arms, you'll be able to look into my soul. And it doesn't work that way. How do you kind of deal with that?
Well, let's take the first one first, because I think it's important that we break this down. Firstly, it depends. If I'm doing a show, I don't see anybody's face properly. And the reason I don't is because if I get linked to the emotion, I'm not going to be able to talk. And then it's going to be in a real crazy mode when you're in front of 100, 200 people or whatever. So first of all, I don't. But it's other people that will say to me, oh my goodness, did you see the look on their face? Did you see that? I don't actually see that. So it depends where I'm doing it. On a one-to-one, I kind of just go, oh, but you can hear the gasp more than anything. And I just carry on, because when I'm in mode, I don't really pay attention to anything. It sounds really bizarre. Not that I don't pick up on that somebody's, you know, I'm known as the tissue lady. I mean, I even have friends that provide me different boxes of tissues because they know they're going to be well used in my work. So I'm known as the tissue lady to my friends, but it's always like there's tissues there for you. And you never know in a reading what touches somebody or what it is that you're saying, you know? So I just keep going, to be honest with you. I just keep going. I do make sure that they're okay, because obviously if we're having a few tears, I just go, are you okay? And then we carry on. Because sometimes people get emotional, not because of something positive, but because of something negative, i.e., a father that wasn't very nice to them, or, somebody that beat the living daylight, a husband or something that beat the living daylights out of them. So it depends. People react for different reasons. I always believe all the tears anyway are healing tears, whatever happens. So I think I just carry on. With it being magic, I guess to somebody who's a non-believer or has not been in the realm, it seems like magic. The only time it starts to make sense is when you work in the realm. But really interestingly, I do get a lot of people that I've seen before or have had other readings, not necessarily with me, but I get a huge amount of people, which is lovely, that have never been in the realm. And that's when they think it's like magic. But you see, I think that's about spirit bringing them in. I think we have to have those moments of that. But I don't know. I don't really cope with it at all. I just keep going. And what was the second one? It was something about, so it's about how did I cope with that? And the other one was, if you get somebody that's skeptical.
Yes. That's the classic for me. It's like, because you get two types of readers, because I went to a tarot party, one of your tarot parties actually, and I read for everybody. And there was the husband in the kitchen, and he was like, I think all this is rubbish. And I went, fine, that's your choice. And you went, he said, well, the last lady that was here tried to convert me. And I was like, I'm too old and long in the tooth. If you don't believe in it, don't believe in it. I wasn't, but there's some people who feel like they have to say something to make you believe. And it's like, skeptics.
I just say, I'm not here to be, I'm exactly the same as you. If you do believe, you believe. If you don't believe, you don't believe. I'm okay with that. I'm not here to convert anybody or try and convince anybody. For me, it's something. I do find men are coming much more into the realm. I'll be honest with you. I have a lot more men. That sounds kinky. I don't mean it that way at all. What I mean is, I see a lot. I know, exactly. But I do see a lot more men now than what I ever did before. Percentages I would have said was 80-20 when I first started to work, and I would say it's nearer to 60-40 now. And I don't know, but they like to see you on a one-to-one basis. But generally it's because they've lost somebody, or they've had some happenings around them which they can't explain, or sometimes they are just lost. I'll be honest with you. And the interesting thing is they come from all walks of life, from self-made millionaires to the guy almost in the street down the road. You know what I mean? So there's no set thing. But interestingly, on Saturday night, I think I had more men in the audience than I've ever had at a show before. Generally, when I do a show, I might have 5 or 6 men. There was a good lot there on Saturday night, and I was pleased to see them sitting with their wives or sitting with their children or whatever it was, and actually really embracing it. I had men coming up to me afterwards and actually putting their hand up because they wanted me to bring somebody through. So it's just become but I'm like you. I don't try and convince anybody. It's like, whatever you want to believe is fine with me. I'm not going to go to a Catholic and try and make them be a Buddhist or something like that. That's not my job. My job is to help people that come to see us, and I think we believe the same.
I also think one of your jobs is to be quite normal about it, because I've always been to, in the past I've been to readers who wear the hippy dippy clothes, and there's nothing wrong with hippy dippy clothes, but it's almost like I need to look like this to read tarot cards, and I don't know what you get, but I actually get people going, oh, that was nice, I was a bit nervous, but you seem quite normal. I don't know what normal is, because we both know we're not, but I think you get the same too.
Yeah, I do all the time. You're normal. I never know what that means. I think, okay, that's fine. And the other thing is, when they come into my home, it's very, very minimalistic, my house. So I don't have all the stuff hanging around or, all the spirit. I just don't have it. It's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not me. So they come in my home, they go, oh, this is nice and bright and modern. We've got, and et cetera, et cetera. And I go, oh, yeah, and it's just like, oh, and and they do say you're so normal. I have to laugh because I thought I am the last person who's normal, whatever that might be. But if you think I'm normal, it's good. It's
Well, I
good.
don't think I get people coming. I live on a boat, so I don't look normal. I try as hard as I can, but they all want to come and look at the sort of the quirky boat, the woman who reads cards on a boat, whatever.
Yeah, but I think it's about the name of the boat as well. So what's the name of your boat, Angelina?
It's actually called Witchcraft. I didn't name it. It came to me called that.
It found you. It found you, and that's absolutely
found
fine.
me.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. You see, again, that spirit is best. It found you. You didn't go finding that. We've got a few minutes left, so I just want to wrap up a little bit and just talk to everybody about a few other things that's going on. First of all, if anybody wants to see me at the Hampshire Court, which is in May I can't remember the date. It's on May the 12th or 9th or something like that. What I can tell you is there is literally only 3 tickets left. So if you're waiting for payday, probably they're going to be gone by then. So if you do want to buy the tickets, just go on and do them. Sorry, but I am not putting any more up for sale. Even though potentially the room holds a few more, we're not going there because of COVID. I'm just trying to give everybody a little bit more space than normal. The other thing is I have got a lovely new website. We've had some trials and tribulations with it, but please go on. You can now also see, not only have we got the currency in like dollars, etc., but you can also see in your own time what time that you're booking the reading. So what I'm trying to say is that you'll see the time in Los Angeles, and you can book it on the website at that time, so you can see how the time reads. You don't have to try and convert it all, because I know it's an absolute nightmare. So I just really want to thank you for coming on the show tonight. Thank you for being a fabulous team member as ever, and for all the years we've worked together, and long may it continue, because we've had some great times together. And I shall see you all next week, 7:30, same time. We'll do something different again next week. But thank you for listening. And I wish you all a beautiful week. And one of these days I might leave the doors, because it is actually daylight. But as I say, my dog, I'm so frightened. If he catches his eye on that cat, it'll be gone. So it is daylight in the UK, but I've pulled my curtains and it looks like nighttime, but it's not. Okay, anyway, it's lovely to see you all. And I wish you all a beautiful week and a lovely weekend. And happy Easter to everybody. And I hope the Easter Bunny is good to you. So bye for now.